What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. We're back with another great video. What a weekend it was for boxing. We had three different fight cards. All three main events were world championship fights. And one we had the IBF junior middleweight champion Bakram defending his IBF title against the new world champion Josh Kelly. Josh Kelly upsetting the champion. In Puerto Rico, we had Xander Sayas unifying the WBO version of the junior middleweight against the WBA champion Abbas Barao. Xander Sayas coming up victorious like I predicted. And now Puerto Rico has another unified world champion. And in the Mecca boxing, we had Shakur Stevenson chasing greatness, a three-division world champion, fighting the WBO junior welterweight champion Teófimo Lopez, a two-time Ring Magazine and Lineal world champion, two-division world champion, and Shakur Stevenson chasing that fourth division world title and being successful at it, pitching a shutout. On paper, it looked like it would be a 50-50 fight. Myself including thought it would be a 50-50 fight, as a lot of boxing experts, and I'm talking about trainers of the year, world championship trainers, professional boxers, former pound for pound fighters, former world championship boxers, promoters, managers. A lot of people predicted that this would be a 50-50 fight, and on paper it was. But man, Shakur Stevenson displayed why he is one of the best talents out there today, and possibly one of the best to ever do it. At the end of his career, he could easily go down as one of the greatest fighters of all time. Talents like him don't come around too often. He made an elite fighter look ordinary. It reminds me of Mayweather. It reminds me of someone like Pernell Whitaker, someone like Terrence Crawford, who fights elite level fighters. Mayweather going up against early in his career against Diego Corrales, for example. Diego Corrales was a tremendous fighter. Was a warrior. Had one of the had an amazing and entertaining career. Fighting wars against Joel Casamayor, Robert Garcia, and of course Jose Luis Castillo. And Mayweather made him look ordinary. Mayweather would do the same to a lot of fighters, to Manny Pacquiao, to Canelo, and so would Terrence Crawford to Errol Spence, to Canelo, and Shakur Stevenson did the same thing. Teófimo Lopez is an elite level fighter, two-division world champion, two-time Ring Magazine and Lineal world champion, beating good and great pound-for-pound future Hall of Fame fighters like Josh Taylor, Lomachenko, good fighter like Arnold Barbosa. Teofimo Lopez had and has a great resume. He has a elite level boxing ability, and Shakur Stevenson made him look ordinary. He beat him at ease. He was able to stick him with the jab in the face all night, and Teofimo Lopez simply had no answer. I guess some people could throw reasons here and there for why Teofimo was unsuccessful, but those can be used as excuses in a way. And at the same time, yeah, sure, you could say, oh, he could have done this right, or he had the wrong game plan, or he should have tried this or that. Maybe I saw like around in the 8th or 9th round that he started throwing body shots. Maybe he should have started going to the body a little earlier. Whatever the case may have been, Shakur was simply the superior fighter. Shakur showed that there's levels to this, and he showed that he is levels above, I'm gonna say, everybody in the weight classes at 135 and 140. Man, that's it. I was surprised, actually. I was in shock. I knew that it was a fight that could have gone either way, whether Teofimo winning or Shakur, but I didn't think that that Shakur would made it look so easy. He made it look like it was a professional against an amateur. And like I said, Teofimo Lopez is a decorated fighter, and Shakur just made it look easy. He made Teofimo look ordinary. Teofimo beating guys like Josh Taylor, Richard Comey, Arnold Barbosa, Lomachenko, like I already mentioned. And Shakur just he demonstrated that he is levels above Teofimo and levels above everybody in his division, whether it's other world champions in the weight class like Gary Antoine Russell or Richardson Hitchens, or even at 135, whether it's Gervonta Davis. A lot of people can say now, oh, this is the reason why Tank never wanted no part of Shakur, and it can be that Tank knew from the outside that Shakur was one in a million, was a one generation talent, and Tank made sure that he never got in the ring with Shakur, and man. But props to Teofimo and props to Shakur as well for, like I said, we got to see both fighters at their peak, in their prime, at their best. No rehydration clauses, no catch weights. meeting each other in the mecca of boxing. I can't get any better than that. So you know, these are the fights that we need to see. And like I said, in order for us to find out who the very best is, the best need to fight the best, and this is part of it. This is part of it. I did mention a couple of videos ago that the fighter that would come up with, on the short end of the stick, their career wasn't over. There's no shame in losing to Shakur Stevenson. Teófimo Lopez is gonna bounce back. He's gonna maybe get a, I don't want to say a tune-up fight, but he probably does end up fighting maybe like Rayo Valenzuela. I know Rayo recently had a win last Sunday, or this Sunday that just passed last week, and former world champion. So I don't see that. I don't see that being a bad option for Teofimo as a comeback fight. He beats Rayo, and then maybe he ends up getting another world title shot against maybe Dalton Smith, the WBC super lightweight champion as of right now, or maybe maybe going up to the welterweight division. As far as Shakur goes, man, I could maybe even say that he's unbeatable right now. I don't see anybody being able to beat him. I know that I mentioned already that Raymond Murataya would fight Shakur Stevenson, and that's the fight that I see happening next. So I don't see a reason why that fight doesn't get made. I know, like I mentioned already, that sometime back, there was talks, maybe not negotiations, but there was talks of Raymond fighting Shakur for the WBC title, where Raymond would be the challenger. Um, for one reason or another, that fight did not get made, and Raymond went the IBF route. Raymond also had a big win over Andy Cruz last week, or 2 weeks ago, if you want to count today, Monday. Um, both champions in the lightweight division. Shakur holding the WBC title, Raymond holding the IBF title. I don't see why that fight doesn't get made. I did see in an interview last year, I'm gonna say maybe like a week or a couple of days after Shakur had fought William Cepeda, that he mentioned that if Raymond Murataya would get past Andy Cruz, then he would fight the winner, or he would fight the winner of that fight, and that's exactly what Raymond did. So I can see the fight being made next. Like I said, in my opinion, I see Shakur being unbeatable. Raymond is a great fighter. He's a good fighter. He has a tremendous boxing ability as well. Styles make fights, of course, and Raymond's style is quite different from Shakur. I did see that in the Andy Cruz fight, Raymond was able to cut the ring a lot better than Teofimo has displayed in previous fights against fighters that tend to move, against Sandor Martin or against Jermaine Ortiz, or even George Kambosos. When George Kambosos was stepping around them, Teofimo, struggled. This time around, of course, Shakur did not use that game plan. A lot of people, and I can say, including myself, believe that Shakur's best chances to come out victorious was to use the ring, to use lateral movement, to step around Teofimo, and that wasn't the case, man. Shakur stepped to Teofimo. Shakur stood his ground against Teofimo. He pushed Teofimo back in a few occasions. He was in a way beating Teofimo in his own game. I did see a lot of flaws on Teofimo's side, especially in his corner, man. Those, and a lot of you can agree with me. I've actually already asked I've actually already spoken to Buddy McGirt regarding the instructions given to Teofimo on what he thought, and I'm not even gonna tell you guys what happened in the conversation. But man, hearing Teofimo Senior say, I'm gonna I'm probably not gonna use the curse words, but saying you gotta f him up, or you gotta effing hit him, bro, or what happened to your power? Give me power, like yo, man, I don't have any comments for that. I'm sure you guys could tell with my expression what I have to say when it comes to those instructions that were given. So it wasn't just the talent of Shakur that won the fight. I also want to give a big props to the corner of Shakur. The instructions were a lot more precise on what to do, on how to keep the momentum of the fight going. Whereas on the opposite corner, we heard give me power, or you gotta f him up, you gotta hit him. What happened to your power? You're gonna hate yourself tomorrow. I mean, yo, you could get in there, motivate a guy as much as you want, but at the end of the day, when the fighter comes back to the corner, man, it's like if he's looking up to his dad. In this case, the trainer being the father. Hey, man, I want answers, and I want them now. Plan A, B, and C is not working. We gotta go to D, E, F, and give me power. You gotta f him up. You gotta f and hit him. I don't think that was plan D, E, and F. So, anyways, like I said, I don't. Yeah, maybe Teofimo's corner would have sounded a little more professional. If they would have had a little more precise instructions. But regardless of that, Shakur's ability is on another level. If, let's say, Teofimo was receiving better instructions, um I don't think the outcome would have been any different. Shakur is just on a totally different level. It showed. It was displayed. Like I said, during the fight, I did see Teofimo, going back to some old habits. Him being a right-handed fighter, he was stepping inside of Shakur instead of stepping around to Shakur's right side. When he was trying to throw punches, he was stepping in with his lead hand being very low. We saw that mistake being done against Cambosos, being dropped in that fight, and against Sandro Martin being dropped in that fight as well. Another southpaw. So um, yeah, like I said, Shakur was able to capitalize on those moments. He was able to see, and not just that, but he was able to, I guess you could say, foresee. He was able to. He knew that those moments were gonna be present there. He knew that those opportunities were gonna present themselves, and he basically what's the word that I'm looking for? I guess you can see he kind of saw that in the future. He knew that he had already visualized that in his sleep and during training camp. He knew that those mistakes Teofimo was gonna return to his old habits, and he was gonna capitalize on them. And that's my take on that. Like I said, in my opinion, right now, Shakur could easily be unbeatable. I don't see anybody in the weight class beating him, whether it's at 135 or whether it's at 140. Any of the champions, Dalton Smith, Richardson Hitchens, Gary Antoine Russell at 135, the young WBO featherweight champion. I'm sorry, not featherweight, lightweight champion. My bad. Abdullah Mason, Raymond Muay, the IBF champion. I don't see anybody beating him. There are good fighters. There are tremendous champions. All the fighters that I just mentioned, but Shakur shows on another level. Would they probably put up? I guess you could say more competitive fights against Shakur. Maybe, like I said, styles make fights, but in my opinion, I don't see anybody beating him. That's my take on that, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and split the video up. I know that at the beginning of this video, I touched topics, or I mentioned other fights going on. So I'm gonna split the video up just to give you guys a video for each fight card, or for each fight that I'm doing my reaction to, and then you guys are gonna get one video for each fight. So anyways, guys, that was it for this part. That was it for part one. I'll see you guys on the next part. All right, guys, peace out.